All
So,
right. Thank you, attorney. Go ahead.
so next, so this will be my presentation. The new rules in administrative investigations, or the PRC resolution number 1949 series of 2025, or also known as the 2025 revised rules in administrative investigation. Last slide. Ayan. So, what do you think the PRC intends to achieve with this particular initiative? Or should I say procedural reform? Number one, to expedite the disposition of cases. Number two, to keep abreast of technological, social, and environmental development. So next slide, please. So let's have a quick comparison between the old rules and the new rules of the commission. So before, under the 2017 rules, after receiving the complaint, the hearing officer shall conduct a preliminary investigation. So the preliminary or determination rather will be within period of 5 days from receipt of the complaint. So after that, the conduct of mandatory conciliation and mediation shall be scheduled and terminated within the period of 30 days, extendable for another 30 days. Assuming the CONMED fails, the HO shall issue a summons requiring the parties or the respondent to file his or her answer. So after receipt of the answer, the hearing officer shall set the case for pretrial conference for simplification of issues and to still explore the possibility of settlement. And during this stage also, the parties will be asked by the hearing officer to choose whether to hold a formal hearing or submit a position paper. Kaya inaabot po talaga ng taon yung pagkakaroon ng isang administrative case sa PRC, but under the old rules or the 2017 rules. After that, assuming the parties elect to conduct a formal hearing, then the board shall apply the rules of court. So when I say rules of court, the regular rules being implemented in the courts will apply to the case. So there will be separate hearing dates for both the complainant and the respondent for the presentation of their evidence in chief. So ayun po, after po ng hearing, magkakaroon po ng decision ng board whether to acquit, reprimand, suspend, or revoke. Pero, with the effectivity of the 2025 rules or under the revised rules nga po, which took effect last March 1, 2025, after receiving the complaint, the HO, of course, will conduct the preliminary determination to know the nature of the case. But this time, instead of having a conciliation mediation, as you can see, summons will proceed. So, and then the respondent has only 10 days to file the answer or counter affidavit. After that, there will be no more pretrial conference. So, conciliation mediation na po, and it is no longer mandatory as it applies only to mediatable cases or simple act of misconduct, mga ganong kaso po. Or yung mga loan or mga financial issues between parties. Thereafter, as you can see, the general rule now under the 2025 rules is to submit the case for decision based on position paper. Hindi na po mandatory or option yung pagkakaroon ng hearing, and it is only up to the board to call for a clarificatory hearing if they feel na strict practice of profession yung involved na issue. Then after that, mas mabilis na makakapag-decide po ang board. Next slide, please. Ayan. As you can see po, ito rin po yung mga new features sa 2025 rules. So ito po yung sagot natin sa panawagan ni President Marcos to really digitalize our processes or our services. Pwede na po yung video conferencing during the conciliation mediation and during clarificatory hearing. Option na po siya for as long as the parties consented to the conduct of video conferencing. And the board agrees din naman to conduct such mode of hearing. Then after that, um, pwede na rin pong i-avail ng parties ang electronic filing of motions and pleadings. So we will forgo with the paper-based filing. That is if the board sees meritorious ground, tatanggapin natin na pwede na yung online filing. So it can be filed through email po ng mga legal offices or legal division or section ng mga regional offices ng PRC. So, as like sa filing, pwede na rin po yung service. So, yung service of notices, pwede na rin siyang gawin online. So, maiiwasan na yung pagpunta sa PRC or maiiwasan na yung pagpunta sa mga regional offices ng PRC. So, next slide, please. So, ano-ano po kaya yung mga kaso na madalas matanggap ng PRC or ng board laban sa mga real estate practitioner na kagaya po ninyo? Next slide, please. Una, unprofessional or unethical conduct arising from breach of contract or issue on payment of commission. So, ito po, di ba, example scenario po ito, number one, naalala po natin sa Code of Ethics po ninyo, you have your duty to your fellow practitioners. Industry practice, di ba, you need to pay commission and the commission starts 3 to 5% or even more for as long as the parties agree to whatever amount of commission. So, sa kami po sa PRC, may mga natatanggap kami na kaso na nakapagbigay na si client ng commission to the broker. Kaya lang si broker, nakalimutan niya real uh, si real estate salesperson niya na tumulong during the negotiation and nakapag-close ng deal. So madalas nagkakaroon ng ganitong mga legal issues between the broker and then the salesperson. So, kaya nagkakaroon ng admin case for revocation or suspension ni broker dahil sa non-payment of commission. Then, meron ding mga salesperson naman na dinislodge na sila ng kanilang broker but still, ginagamit pa rin po nila yung authority or accreditation na ibinigay sa kanila ng dati nilang broker without the latter's consent. Worse, may mga nai-encounter din po kami sa PRC na mga salesperson na nag-represent ng mga fake receipts or documents. Next slide, please. Ayan po. So, bakit ko po nasabi yung mga cases na na-handle natin sa PRC na kagaya ng unprofessional or unethical conduct? Kasi meron po tayo as real estate practitioners, meron po tayong responsibility under our Code of Ethics, specifically under Section 4, Article 3, and Section 4, Article 4. So, first, Section 4, Article 3, sabi doon, the practitioner in the exercise of their rights and in the performance of their duty shall act with fairness, justice, and good faith. So, ayan po, as you conduct your business, like when you sell a property or arrange or facilitated a sale of property, or when you enter into a contract, you must be in good faith. So, next po is Section 4, Article 4 din ng Code of Ethics nyo. The practitioner shall honor and abide by its commitment with other parties, provided such agreement is in accordance with law, public good morals, good customs, and public policy. So again, it has something to do with good faith or compliance with your contractual obligations in good faith. Next slide, please. Ayan po, violation of board law or RA 9646, your board law, and the Code of Ethics committed in private dealings. Ayan po kasi, madalas iniisip po ng mga professionals, ng mga real estate practitioners na okay yan, hindi naman strict practice of profession, pwede kong gawin. But then nakakalimutan po ng iba na the long arm of the law is really long that can definitely reach them kahit na sa kanilang mga private dealing. So dito po talaga nagkakaroon din ng problema. na merong admin case for suspension or even revocation. Halimbawa, nag-post sa social media yung isang real estate practitioner, si broker, si appraiser, or si salesperson ng defamatory language against sa kapitbahay or sanabihan niya yung kapitbahay, manloloko, magnanakaw, kabet. Yun po, 'di ba hindi naman po siya strict practice of profession, but then under Section 1, Article 2 of your Code of Ethics, as real estate practitioners, you are duty-bound to uphold the Constitution and the laws of the Republic, and that includes the Cybercrime Prevention Act and the Revised Penal Code. So, ayun po. Next slide, please. Ayan po, kaya be a responsible digital citizen. Kasi hindi po natatapos yung ating um, pagiging professional real estate practitioner dun lang kapag nakapag-close tayo ng deal. Meron din tayong mga responsibility towards the public na gaya nito na maging responsible digital citizen tayo whenever we use our social media accounts. So next slide please. So para sa dagdag kaalaman po, sa isang regional office ng PRC, merong 18 pending cases involving real estate practitioners. Halo-halo po yon, whether against sa brokers, appraisers, or salesperson. So meron kaming 46 professional regulatory boards sa isang PRC regional office na may 300 or 400 dockets. 18 po doon madalas na i-file laban sa mga real estate brokers. So next slide please. So if you want to have further information about about PRC Resolution number 1949, series of 2025, you may see the full text uh, by visiting www.prc.gov.ph. Maraming salamat po. I know maraming concerns later out of my topic, but I'm sorry I wasn't able to include everything. But I will try my best to address them during the open forum with the assistance of CPD Division Chief Dr. Claire De Guia. So if you have questions about CPD compliances and accreditation, she will help us or me to answer your queries and questions. Thank you very much po.